And, we podcasted.
Oh,
That's that sweet intro music.
that was like silk.
Silky smooth intro music, baby.
You know what else is silky smooth, sir?
Ooh, buttery biscuits, Smithy.
Oh, and a sweet, sweet Victory.
Ooh, victory. Talking about the fleet. Walking down the street. Oh, no, Smithy.
Oh, wait a second.
We're sliding down the street because we're oh so smooth, and we're talking about the fleet. Talking about the victory. What was that?
That was our best intro ever. That's what that was.
I don't know. I'm not entirely convinced, but we'll run with it.
We'll let our one listener determine that.
I really hit that flow there at the end.
He did, man.
Yeah.
It's like almost the song was too short.
I mean, we got biscuits in there. We made up a word, victory.
Victory.
It's Victory to Tuesday here at the Shipyard.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully we did not scare you away with that smooth intro, but this is the Shipyard Podcast. Of course, we cover the San Diego Fleet football team who was victorious this week, Smithick.
24-12.
24-12 victorious.
Came from behind to take it away from the Atlanta Legends.
Take that, Legends.
Your uniforms still suck.
Yeah, they are. Okay, actually, talking about uniforms. So we neglected to mention this last week, and it's been eating away at me. But why do we not have away uniforms? Watching a purple and gold versus a gray and yellow team was odd. I have to say, I don't like the home jerseys versus the home jersey. It throws me off.
Didn't even faze me.
Really?
I mean, maybe it's just my eyes, but I can distinguish between a purple helmet and a flaky gray helmet.
Yeah, I suppose. I'm not going to harp on that too much, but it is weird that the Memphis Express have away uniforms and no other team does.
Well, maybe that's why the rest of the league's going bankrupt.
All right, let's talk about this, Smith.
Yeah.
There's been some nonsensical nonsense going around the league.
What I like to call
Twitter.
the idiot elephant in the corner.
The idiot elephant in the corner. We're talking about this freaking idiot, Darren Rovell, whatever. He's a sports reporter, air quotes.
Yeah.
Air quotes sports reporter who basically broke some news that the AAF basically couldn't make payroll and therefore sold the entire company for $250 million to Tom Dundon,
Yes.
of the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, this is totally inaccurate.
Not the Tom Dundon
No,
part.
that's true. So, but he didn't sell. We didn't sell it to him. He invested in the company.
Huge difference.
And all the AAF had to do is give him a chairmanship, right, for $250 million. And the media is running with this like the league was about to fold and they desperately needed money. And just out of desperation, they somehow convinced a guy to give them at the last moment to give them $250 million and bail them out.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. First of all,
sorry, go ahead.
no, if you've got $250 million, are you gonna give it to a company that's failing miserably? No, especially a sports guy like Tom Dundon is.
Right.
He runs successfully a sports franchise. He knows how to build a sports business.
Yeah.
So the AAF gets an awesome asset in Tom Dundon. They also get a butt ton of money.
Yeah.
And the media is spinning this like it's some dire, like horrific event.
Right. Like he just got caught with a bunch of cocaine with Mr. DeLorean.
This is craziness to me. If you know anything about startups or business, this is a great moment for the AAF.
Yes.
They just received a ton of investment capital.
Quite the inflow.
And a great sports mind to go along with it.
Yeah,
to
this
help them
isn't
run the
just
company.
some like shadow investor that has no relationship to any sport.
So as the day went on, of course, the real news came out, but the initial splash that this, I'm just so worked up. I can't even think of an adequate insult.
Oh my God.
For Darren Rovell. And then he's just so proud of himself with this news as well. Yeah. He doubles down later on, clarifying that, so basically the AAF apparently switched payroll companies and it delayed paychecks a little bit. That's what the AAF is saying. I believe that is possible because I personally have experienced this.
Same here. At a startup, no less.
At a startup. Now, I was not, so anyways, and I talked to a number of people inside the AAF organization. Mm-hmm. None of them missed any paychecks. Nope. Everything's fine.
They all cashed. Nothing bounced.
Yeah. So now Neuheisel weighs in on the situation and with a great clip. I'm going to play it right now. So this is Rick Neuheisel, the Arizona Hotshots head coach, reacting to the news of the day that the AAF is in dire straits.
Right.
The league announcing a $250 million investment from Tom Dundon, owner of the NHL's Carolina Hurricanes. Dundon now becomes the chairman of the league.
Everybody's gotten their checks today, and they have to understand that this is a competitive environment we live in, right? There are other people out there that are trying to get a new league a year from now that are trying to create some negative publicity.
Ooh, that's interesting.
But the good news is there's an investor who just dropped $250 million who has been a part of professional sports. You have to imagine he did his due diligence.
So right there, well,
We're going to give the game of football
Oh, God.
back to fans.
So basically, what Neuheisel's throwing down right here, and I have to respect Neuheisel on this one.
Oh, yeah.
He's just laying down the gauntlet. He's saying this is a smear campaign organized by McMahon and XFL 2020.
And guess who took the bait?
Yep, the freaking media.
Darren.
Darren. Yeah, Darren Rovell. Anyway, I'm displeased with this man at the moment.
Yeah, and here's what I have to say about this.
It's not just Darren though.
It's not, but here's
Okay. Proceed. I'm
a
so
big
worked
part
up.
of the problem.
Okay.
Is in today's media, and it's been around for like at least a couple of decades now.
Yep.
It's a race to first, not a race to quality.
Right.
So here you got Darren being the, I want to be first, I want to be first, I want to be first, just like he did with the uniform reveals for the AAF.
Yeah.
And so instead of like, maybe I should like check sources, call somebody in the league or something like that.
Same guy?
Same dude.
This is the same guy that leaked the
Same
uniform?
dude that leaked the uniforms.
Oh, I hate this guy.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I'm so angry.
look, dude, I get it. You want to be first to break something, but
Yeah.
at least make sure it's accurate.
Yeah.
This is dumb. And then, of course, then you have somebody like USA Today basically repeating Rovell's drivels.
Daily snark.
Yeah.
So then all these guys who've got to jump on the bandwagon, then start reporting. It snowballs out of control. Everybody, what should be a great moment for the AAF.
Exactly.
People are now like, treating as a joke.
Oh,
like their memes like, bankrupt.
Right.
It couldn't even last 2 weeks or whatever. Like that's craziness. That's craziness. Now the league has not been without its issues.
Correct.
I think everyone's underwhelmed with the app situation.
Oh, yeah.
But, the football's been good.
It has.
And the ratings have been good.
They have.
And the attendance has been, for the most part, very good.
Yeah.
This last week, there were a couple. The Memphis and Birmingham games didn't look that impressive on TV. I have to do the what it looks like on TV is not necessarily what it is
when you're there. Yeah.
Case in point, the San Diego game.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about here in a minute. But I had to get that off my chest about this stupid AAF news.
Yeah.
And it's been catching wildfire all over the place. And we had
Basically,
to set
at
the
this
record
point,
straight.
if you wanted like up-to-date, accurate sports news, do not look at Darren Rovell's tweet.
Yeah, that guy's the worst. Unfollow.
Yeah.
He's got way too many followers.
Yeah, I think they're bots. They're inaccurate bots.
Yeah. Anyway, he's my new least favorite sports reporter.
He's the Fire Festival of sports reporting.
All right, Smiffy. So now that that's off our chest, we went to a football game, didn't we?
We
not?
did.
Man, and it was super fun,
I had a blast.
I have to say. So we'll just start from the beginning. Let's recount our experience.
All right.
Start to finish.
All right.
We
Break it down.
We blew it out with the tailgate.
We did.
Man, we had a good tailgate going.
We had plenty of things to abide in.
We color-coordinated plates.
We did.
We had yellow and
it
gray
was
plates.
amazing. Even the tablecloths were
color coordinated. We really went to town on the tailgate. It was a lot of fun. Obie McHugh was there.
Oh, yeah.
Jake was there.
Jake was there.
The listeners, of course, Sydney and
what's his face?
Jeremy. Sorry, Jeremy.
Hey, we even
Sydney
had
and
a
Jeremy,
visit.
but they brought a huge crew,
They
and
did.
they blew it out with some awesome
Oh, my
food. You had the
gosh.
lobster going, shrimp going, little 50-50 slider
It was
patties
better
going.
than Red Lobster, man.
That is a great crew. They did have Chargers pop-ups,
Right. I mean,
which was they hilariously
It was funny.
corrected.
It was funny.
They got the duct tape out and X'd out the they got. But you can't. What are you going to buy a new Easy Up just
I
because
would.
your
Those
team
things are
betrayed you?
expensive.
Yeah, I know.
me,
So
they-
anyway, they put X's through the Charger logos on the pop-ups, which was hilarious. So
Hey, we even got a visit by David Bowling.
David Bowling swing by.
Yeah.
Now, David was really optimistic going into the game. This is related to attendance. Now, the ticket sales were very close to that 27,000 number
Yeah.
prior to any gate sales.
Correct.
And I'm convinced that the weather is why we didn't get, because
Without a doubt.
there were people buying tickets at the gate, but then the gate situation.
Oh, gosh.
Let's talk about this. There are a lot of positives. I want to get that. This is going to be a very positive
But
episode.
we have to call it as we see it, too.
So we left the tailgate at 4:15. Game started at 5. Figuring that would be plenty of time to get to
Plenty.
our seats. We barely made it
To first snap.
to first snap. Barely.
Yep.
And in fact, I think like the second our butts hit the seats, they were playing.
They were playing. Yeah, exactly.
So
and that's what happened.
we missed all the opening ceremonies, all the fanfare, all that stuff. We didn't see any of it. And it's because they only had 3 turnstiles open.
Yeah, which is absolutely ridiculous. And this is by the same company that does all the games. This wasn't their first rodeo.
So I don't understand that at all because there were a ton of people in the parking lot. Tons.
And
now,
sorry, I don't mean to cut you
Oh, no,
off.
it's good.
While we're waiting in line just to get through the turnstile, people were literally bailing. Like, you
Yeah.
know what?
It's pouring rain
It's
at this
pouring.
point.
I'm just going to go home. Screw this. This is taking too long.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's several that could have been counted toward the attendance just because of the crappy situation with the turnstiles.
and then the scanning situation wasn't working.
No.
So when we finally did get to the turnstiles, they were just letting people through
Yeah, they
without
weren't
scanning their tickets.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've been to a lot of games at this stadium.
Me too.
And you even more than I have. It looked to me visually like there were probably 24,000 people there. That was my visual guess.
That was at first my visual. And this is going back to when the Padres used to play there. Now, the seating configuration was slightly different. Things were shifted around a little bit. Many a mini Padres season where they weren't doing so good, you had crowds like that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's like my first guesstimate was 22 to 23. And then thinking about it more and more, actually, my last guess before they actually announced the attendance, I was thinking between 17 and 18,000.
Oh, really?
But I also didn't notice all the people sitting under the
I did
overhang.
When I went back up to the stands, first of all, in our section, kind of looking on the sidelines, I was like, okay, well, people are hanging back because of the rain. And then I looked behind us, and behind us in the end zone, there were a ton
It was
of
packed.
people.
Dude, it was packed.
I was like, oh my God, that's where everybody is. So but then if you
'cause
went up
we were
under
there.
the underhang, that's true, 'cause we sold that section out. But if you go up to the overhang, that's where everybody just moved to cover.
Get out of the rain, man.
Yeah, I don't really need to be that close. We were down in the front row just getting pounded on the whole game, but
And loved it.
loved every second of it. But so there were it was a good turnout. I was super proud of everyone who showed up because we're not necessarily.
I got to tell you,
San Diego's not known for its weather resiliency.
no. And I was about to say, I've got to tell
Yeah.
you for it raining like it did, and how finicky and flaky we are here in San Diego when it comes to the rain. 20,000 is a good showing.
It's a really. I was super impressed with that showing, and then I do personally still think it was probably closer to like 21, 22 based on the no counts of the tickets. But I think we lost a ton of people at the gate because of that situation.
Yeah, that was bad. And if it repeats this week, it's going to be the same issue.
Yeah. So Fleet, if you're listening, love you guys,
But open up
some more turnstiles, man.
It should not take 45 minutes to get through there.
Absolutely not. There's no reason for that. It's
None.
craziness. So, now that being said, there was some reports that like only 9,000 people were there, and that's ridiculous. Right now, SA Command Post podcast said that on their show. It was a great show. I listened to the show, but they were giving us props for what they thought was only 9,000 people.
Right.
I'm telling you, it was way more than
definitely not.
9,000 people.
It was definitely like just
Yeah.
two examples just how full the parking lot was with all the tailgaters. Now, not all of them did go into the game. Some were just tailgating the tailgating. That's cool.
Yeah. There were a lot of cars in that.
There was a lot of cars.
By the end, it was packed.
And getting out of there,
Yeah.
you had to do the typical, well, let me wait a half hour, 45 minutes for this to thin out before
Yeah.
I leave. And then two, again, the long lines just to get through the turnstiles. And there was also a very long line, people trying to walk up and buy tickets at the ticket window again.
There were a lot of people there too. And then that was all happening in the same little cluster.
Yeah.
So that got a little confusing for people. They didn't know which line was which, the buy tickets line or the get in line. So, anyway, it took a long time. Long story short, took a long time to get into the stadium.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I don't blame the people that are actually working there at the turnstiles. They're just doing what they're told.
Yeah.
No, it's whoever's managing that.
Yeah. They need to button that up. So let's get on to the game, Smith.
Yes.
The actual game was a lot of fun.
It was. I had a blast.
One thing that immediately stood out to me from watching NFL games was how much faster
and
how much shorter the game felt.
Dude, I couldn't believe it's almost halftime.
Yeah. And it's like, it's almost over.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, we were back. I live up in Carlsbad, which is like 45, 50 minutes away from the stadium. I was at home and in bed by 9, basically.
That's awesome, man. Had I went straight home from the game, because I only live maybe like 10 minutes
15,
from, I would have been back by before 8. Yeah. In time for some Golden Girls.
Yeah, it was great. So kudos to that. The game went really fast. It was smooth. Now our passing game didn't start off too hot.
No. It's so hard to tell with the weather. Was it just poor quarterbacking, or was it just, man, this weather's really playing some havoc here with that passing game?
Yeah, it could have been. Now, Phil Nelson only really had basically a quarter of play total,
right.
Like preseason and game one.
Exactly.
Heading into that first quarter. So he threw an early pick. Mm-hmm. Wasn't looking too good off the bat.
No.
But then in the first half, there was one play that really gave me hope for long term for Phil Nelson.
Right.
And the offensive line, for that matter, which has experienced nothing but
way better.
Still
has some issues, but
still had some issues. But so basically, there was a great, really long bomb to Nelson Spruce.
Oh yeah, the deep one down to the left.
Deep one down onto the left. And by the way, Nelson Spruce coming on strong called that Howard Bender.
Oh,
sorry, but
From what I hear, speaking of Howard Bender, I heard his nickname was Fairweather Bender.
Fairweather Bender.
He keeps changing allegiances to the teams for an AAF.
Yeah.
So I think this week he's an Apollos fan.
But so Nelson Spruce ended up with 6 targets, 58 yards.
Nice.
His long was that 29-yard bomb.
Hey, that was
another long one. But he's coming on. I'm expecting to see more and more Spruce.
Yeah.
And I really want to get that Spruce.
Oh, and when he caught it, the crowd did do that.
Yeah. So I want to get that going. But the real champion, so the play I'm talking about in particular and why I was impressed with it was Nelson hanging in the pocket the way he did.
Right.
And letting the offensive line pick up the blocks.
Gotcha.
Because if you watch the replay, pressure was coming and it was closing in.
Yep.
But he stood in there just long enough and delivered that perfect bomb.
He did.
And I was like, that's an encouraging sign right there.
Very.
They finally, because that was what had not been happening up to that point.
No.
He was not getting the time.
None.
He also is very good at getting out of pressure.
He is. He's a scrambler.
He is very quick.
I bet you he makes some great eggs.
He's got impressive core strength.
Yeah, you know what? And to get those abs, I would imagine you have to up your protein game. Hence the eggs.
He's got some beautiful abs.
He does. I want to wash clothes.
But yeah, so anyways, all of our girlfriends are way too excited about Philip Nelson. But regardless, overall, improved throughout the game, and we were trailing going into the fourth quarter.
Yes.
And then that's when they really let Jaquan Gardner go bonkers.
He just they changed the batteries in him or something. He just, hey, legends, I'm going to run all over you.
They basically split the carries 50-50 between Jaquan Gardner and Terrell Watson. 15 carries to 14.
Hey, I got to admit, even Watson, granted he did not get as many yards, he got some tough first downs.
Watson was grinding it out. He got his average was nothing to, it's 3.5. You do that every time, that's a first down.
Yeah, exactly.
But basically, Watson was a great change of pace, and they basically split it 50-50 right down the middle. So
kept those legs fresh.
If he breaks one off, then we're talking about Watson right now.
Right.
But
And he almost did, actually.
But the moral of the story here is we had, with the running backs, just the running backs, we had 153 rushing yards between the two of them on 29 carries.
That's dingly dangly good.
Dingly dang. Okay, Ned Flanders. But and then Phil Nelson had 28 yards on 6 attempts.
Yeah, he was a scrambling.
Scrambling man.
No matter what you're doing during the day, you still got to give those abs a workout.
He's like, oh man, my abs are loosening up.
Let me go get this first down. I'll be right back, ladies.
But then Phil, of course, is responsible for the second fleet clip in 2 weeks that went bananas.
I gotta admit, at least our quarterbacks are giving the league some national exposure.
This reminds me of the Major League Willie Mays Hayes catch, and then he goes into the bullpen and he's like, "Great catch, Hayes. Never effing do it again."
Right? Exactly.
I can only imagine Martz saying,
"Oh my gosh, I can only imagine
what were you thinking."
Here's what I pictured it happening. So after they do their little press conference,
well, first let's explain what actually happened in case for some reason you don't
lived under a rock the last couple of days.
So Phil Nelson scrambles out to the left, avoids pressure, a great scramble, makes his way all the way to the sideline. And then I guess he must have caught Escobar out of his peripheral vision or something. He starts to spin. His back is turned, and literally he granny style like a granny style free throw shot from reverse, like when you're trying to play pig or horse. Throws it over his head backwards, no look, and Escobar catches it for like a 9-yard gain. It was the stupidest, awesomest thing I've ever seen. It was ridiculous. And also super dumb.
Super dumb.
But hey, you can't be that pretty and also be that smart. You know what I mean?
Hey, it's like I tell my wife. At least you're pretty.
No, but I mean, hey, maybe he knew what he was doing. It looked to me like he's like, hey, I got Escobar. I just have to do whatever I can, Brett Favre style.
And I'm going to throw this behind my head in quadruple coverage to Escobar.
Yeah, so that got national attention. Even Russell Wilson commented that he had to step up his game.
I think that was Patrick Mahomes that said that.
Oh, that's right. It was Patrick Mahomes.
I don't mean to correct you.
Yeah, sorry. So Patrick Mahomes weighed in on the whole situation, said he had to step up his game, who, of course, is known for that no-look pass that he did that is nothing compared to the Phil Nelson no-look pass. So,
but I can just imagine after the game, after all the little press conferences, Uncle Mike goes over to Philip, taps him on the shoulder, like, "Hey, Phil, can I talk to you for a second?"
Yeah.
Just
let's go to my office. Let's have a little powwow.
Yeah, let's have a little powwow in my office.
A little chit-chat.
Yeah, walk in, like, "Hey, close the door behind you." And then just lights into him. What in that world? Don't you ever do that again.
I bet he made Phil give him a Chris 5.
I would have. But he would, Phil would have ironed it out with his abs first and then given him a Chris 5.
Oh, man.
Another thing I'd like to bring up about the game that I was actually like, you just had to, give the nod of approval to this young man. And that's Cameron Kelly and his sock game on point.
Yep.
Bring in the gray socks, sir.
Cam heard us. Cam heard us with the gray socks. He's like, listen, those boys are they're right about these
They're onto
socks.
something.
We need to. So Cam was rocking the yellow gray socks.
Gray socks.
So kudos to that. Cam.
That's Chris 5 worthy.
It's Chris 5 worthy. Or on that day would have more been like a soggy 5.
So yeah, soggy 5.
We did actually bring Chris 5s.
Yes.
We gave one to Jeff Gardner as he walked by. But they got pretty soggy in the rain.
Did.
They were very limp. Not very crisp 5s, but
the noodly 5s.
Yeah. So, but our seats, Smithy, what did you think? How was your experience watching the game?
Despite the rain, obviously.
Yeah.
I love those seats, actually.
That was a good time right there. I liked them a lot.
Kind of hard to get in and out if you got to use the restroom or the concessions.
That's true.
I mean, if that's my only complaint, they're pretty dang good.
Now, the one regret that I have is I was so intent on watching the game. Mm-hmm. And also during tailgating, I was just cooking up a storm the whole time.
Oh, you were.
We didn't make the rounds to see any of what was going on anywhere.
No,
we didn't go to the fleet party. We didn't go to any of the other tailgates or anything like that. I didn't really make the rounds inside the stadium.
It was kind of hard
because I didn't want to miss any of the game.
Exactly.
And I did go to the team store for a bit.
Me too.
There's some cool new hats.
Yeah.
But I just didn't. The game's so fast now.
I know it's
that
just,
you like. I don't want to miss. You got to get back in. So I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't make my rounds to see if there was anything cool going on or anything unique. Really at all. I walked in. I went to my seat. I watched the game.
Yeah.
And I left.
Yeah. And like you said, it goes so dang fast. It's like I don't want to get up, dude.
Yeah.
You know, and to be honest with you, when I'm in there to watch the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind all the socializing before and after and all that stuff. I think that's pretty cool. But when it's game time, yeah, I want to watch the game. I want to see how these guys play and start to gel and everything.
Yeah.
And speaking of gelling, how about that defense?
Dude, the freaking...
Yeah, my name for the defense now is called the Destroyers.
That's a good
and
name
any
for the defense.
fleet needs their Destroyers.
And that is our defense. DeMontre Moore.
Oh, yeah, and Soto.
That dude is and Soto too, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Our defensive line is awesome. And Tarpley is a freaking wrecking crew back there on the
He is causing all sorts of havoc.
And then the DB, Ryan Moeller.
Yeah.
Coming up with his second interception in 2 games.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's doing really
that was a
good
crazy interception, too. It was. I mean, it bounced, I don't know if it hit the legend receiver's face or his shoulder, but it bounced off. Basically, he should have caught that.
That happened right before halftime, right?
It did.
I saw the highlight, but I had just left to go to the bathroom, and as soon as I was like, oh, the half's almost over.
Right.
Classic me.
I did the same thing. I missed it too.
Just as soon as I got to the concourse, I hear, and I was like, oh no, what did I miss?
And then we get back, because when we got it from receipts, it was 3-9. We get back halftime. Why is it 6-9? Well, they took that interception and got 3 points out of it.
Yep.
As you should. Or 6.
Yeah. So anyway, long story short, our defense is awesome.
Yes. The Destroyers.
Really, the Destroyers. I like it.
Heck yeah.
Coined.
Coin. Ding, ding.
What else can we say? Was there anything particularly bad that you want to talk about in the game?
Obviously, which we already touched on, quarterback. But dude, this is the third game that they've actually played as a team.
Yeah. I'm expecting game 4, or league game 3.
Season. Okay.
I think they're going to start the next 2 games are going to be where the teams really come together.
Okay. See, I'm thinking by seasonal games.
Yeah.
I'm thinking by game 4 or 5, that's when everything's going to start gelling. Obviously, I would not be disappointed if it happens before that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then obviously hopefully the offensive line can improve on Sunday's performance, and that just means things are going to get even better for the team. Yeah. They're going to be putting up more points if that happens. Sky Judge still MIA.
Yeah.
I mean there was again a couple of things that could have went on either team. Yeah. That just not a peep from Sky Judge.
Sky Judge he just doesn't show up to fleet games.
A money laundering front at this point. So it's like some olive oil company,
like shoe repair.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm convinced that all shoe repair stores are money laundering.
Yes.
Who's ever gotten their shoes repaired?
I don't. Who does that?
Your shoes break, you just get new shoes.
New ones. I'm never that attached to a pair of shoes.
But anyways, so. Shoe repair podcasting aside, I was really happy overall with the game experience.
Okay.
I think, I hate to sound like we're making excuses, but had not been for the rain, I honestly think we would have topped 30.
I think so too.
I think we would have done it. I think more people would have shown up to buy tickets there at the gate. And I'm hoping that we can do that this week with the Commanders.
And there's another factor that people who aren't from here or have not lived here for a while, because they love making excuses as to why San Diego's not a sport town. When it rains in Mission Valley, it floods. It does not have to rain hard either to flood. And it was raining hard. So I can see people like, nah, I'm not going down there and messing with any of that.
I mean, we're talking floods like your car floats away. Floods.
Exactly, where they're bringing in the helicopter to rescue you. So
yeah. So, anyways, should we do a real quick AAF power round? All right, let's do it. So
Okay.
the Salt Lake Stallions went down to the Birmingham Iron. Did you get a chance to watch this game, Smithy?
I did not, but I do know that at one point, I think, and this is how confident I am and not what I'm saying, is that Salt Lake was actually up.
Yeah.
And the Iron had to come back.
So Luis Perez came back down to earth a little bit this week.
Right.
And, he didn't play bad. He just didn't play as good as he did the first week. He's 24 for 38. It's a lot of attempts, not that many completions. But anyway, he didn't make any huge mistakes.
No, you
no
know
touchdowns, no interceptions, no 2-point conversions.
I think right now with all these teams still trying to gel and get together, the teams that make the least amount of mistakes are winning right now.
Yeah, and they just are handing the ball to Trent Richardson. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's Richardson. He had 19 carries.
And a paltry 2.2 yards per carry.
It actually went down.
Yeah, I think.
So,
were
but
his feet hurting?
He did get that touchdown.
You know, that's the important part. Of all those stats, the touchdowns, I think, are the most important.
Yeah, and he's I mean, they're just controlling the ball. They're wearing it down.
Yeah.
And they're getting wins. So, Joel Bwagnan. He actually did pretty good. 11 carries for 70 yards. 6.4 carries.
That's not
yards per carry.
And he got into the
on the Stallions
into the end zone,
and he got a TD. So that was a good fantasy pickup for me because I know I have him on a bunch of teams there. So
look at you.
Yeah, but the passing game, Trent Richardson did catch 6 balls for 50 yards. That's pretty impressive.
So he had almost 100 total yards.
Yeah,
almost.
So he had 45 yards after catching the passing game.
That's not bad.
So it's the Trent Richardson show one way or another, good or bad, in Birmingham.
Which, long-term thinking, that may not be a good sign for the Iron if they're that one-dimensional.
If they can contain him. Although Perez is good given the chance. The first week, he was throwing all over the place. Quentin Patton was making some great plays.
Right.
So I think the Stallions just maybe have a good pass defense. They were going to the run.
Yeah.
But now we Arizona Hotshots versus the Memphis Express. So I expected the Hotshots to basically destroy the Express, and that was not really the case.
Yeah.
Pretty close game.
It was.
In fact, I think the Express had the lead for most of the game.
They did.
Yeah.
That was another come-from-behind victory.
Yeah, so...
and again, I think this is showing, people get worked up about that week 1 and all them points being scored, and let's wait till week 4 or 5, and actually see how the dust settles, because at that point, most of the teams have played all the other teams.
Yeah.
So
now I'm realizing here that the Arizona Hotshots are using all of their running backs, all 3 of them, very effectively. They had 13 carries, 12 carries, and 4 carries.
Yards.
Stockton had 4 carries for 54 yards, and then
did Memphis
Jarrell
just have
Presley,
9 people on the field when he was running?
Now Stacy got the first 100-yard game, and then of course Jaquan Gardner broke that.
Yes, he did
with 104 shortly thereafter. So congrats to Zach Stacy of the Memphis Express for having a 100-yard game on 19 carries. So not too bad.
No, not bad at all.
Good running game going on there.
But did he have 104 yards rushing?
He did not. No, he did not. All right, and what else? We had one other game, did we not?
The shootout.
Yeah, the shootout.
In San Antonio.
The old ball coach, Steve Spurrier, from what I understand, I did not get a chance to watch this game.
I didn't either.
I still want to watch it before the end of the week. But from what I understand, it was a close game, and the Apollos came from behind and basically exploited the one weakness that he was able to find, and literally back to back 50-yard bombs for touchdowns.
Gotta hurt. Dude, that's gotta hurt. I'm sure Coach Mike Riley, former coach of the Oregon Boilermakers, was pretty upset with that.
Yeah, that's true. Riley was pretty good over there with the Boilermakers.
He was.
If I remember correctly.
Probably some of his successful coaching gigs, I think.
Yeah. Almost as good as his stint out there at Bowling Green.
Oh, yeah. That's I think that was a little bit before he coached, the Oregon State Wolverines.
Yeah. Long, storied football history.
Oh, gosh.
Of coaching.
What a program, too.
What a program. We are good at football stats.
We are, especially college stuff.
But, so basically, they really spread the ball around here, too. Lots of targets going every which way. DeMarcus
Spreading
Ayers.
around like they were making sandwiches.
Yeah, Charles Johnson, though, on the Apollos.
CJ.
banana cakes.
CJ had a day
192 receiving yards on 7 receptions.
on 10 targets.
10 yeah.
Goodness.
My goodness. So
Bet you his mom took him to Pizza Hut after that game.
The Apollos are really airing it out. They've got their passing game sorted out. They're the only ones, I think, really.
And they might be in trouble if one of these teams figures out how to stop their pass.
Yeah.
They may be coming crashing to earth.
Yeah.
So
now, we'll find out when the Fleet play the Apollos, but I'm just looking forward to this Commanders game. I'm looking forward to this rematch, Smith.
I am too. I'm looking forward for victory.
Another victory. Fleet victory Tuesday.
Victory.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be another tough matchup. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see another low-scoring game.
Same here.
I hope not. I want to see this playbook get opened up a little bit. I want to see if maybe Nelson settles in and gets it going. I think Spruce is going to be the key, in my opinion, because if Charles Johnson, their deep threat, Spruce is our deep threat. And he's got some beautiful route running capability.
He does. They don't call him the Swan for nothing.
I think it's going to be a Spruce game.
All right.
I don't want to give away the secret.
We shall see Sunday.
I don't think anyone's on Spruce.
But if you're not on Spruce,
if you're playing that fantasy football, I think he's a free agent in a lot of leagues.
Oh boy, might want to get on the Spruce train.
Might want to get on that Spruce train. I have to admit, I've been playing a little fanball. Which is the daily fantasy.
How's that going for you?
Good. I cashed in both weeks so far.
Well,
not by a lot. I started with $50. I got a bankroll of $60. I won $5 week 1 and $5 week 2.
Sweet diggity.
So I'm up. I'm up on this deal.
You are, man. Cash out, sir.
But yeah, I gotta give props to Fanball for being the only daily fantasy game in town. I still blows my mind that DraftKings and FanDuel haven't hopped on this.
Oh, it's probably because they're getting all their information from Darren Rovell.
They're like, that league's going bankrupt anyway. We're not going to get involved.
Yeah, it's just a black hole for money.
But that's fine. I like it that some of the smaller, companies or non-existent, not even companies, just guys are doing really cool stuff in the fantasy. Like, I have to admit, I'm pretty disappointed in what we're getting from the AAF from a fantasy perspective.
Yeah.
I didn't so that the app basically doesn't work if you're not watching the game live.
Yeah.
And while we were there, it never even occurred to me.
I had no interest in looking at the app while being there at the stadium watching the game.
Honest to God,
none.
It did not even occur to me to look at it.
I didn't even pull my phone out until halftime.
I only realized that my phone at one point I looked down and my phone was sitting in a puddle.
Oh, jeez.
And it had been sitting there for quite some time. And so that wasn't ideal.
No.
That was the only time I looked at my phone during the entire game.
Yeah.
And I'm
just not sure
I might try and give it another go during the Commanders because I'll try to think about it. But you can really only do it if you're at the game live.
Right. Yeah.
Otherwise you can't
because the broadcast is so far behind.
Yeah. So maybe I'll give that another try. We'll see how it goes live. But overall, it's yeah. And then there's been I'm so excited about the league. I'm so excited about the Fleet.
Same here.
I don't want to be a negative Nelly.
Oh boy.
But I also want to call it like I see it.
You know what? But that's the only way to get things to improve things.
Yeah.
You don't sugarcoat stuff because it's going to be wrong.
We're fans and we want to give our honest feedback. So that maybe if someone's listening, maybe we're in someone's ear, they can make some improvements. And I think it's nothing they don't already know. But
I'm sure it is.
The live viewing in the app, it's one angle. It's the fly cam for me.
Oh, gosh. I wish that was it for me.
I was trying to watch the Memphis game.
The live. Sorry.
The live.
I thought you meant the game.
No, not the game. The live game. The live video.
Right.
Streaming video. There's no sound.
Interesting.
Were you getting sound? Have you streamed from the app?
I haven't tried that.
There's no sound, and it's one angle. It's just the fly cam the whole time. So I don't know if they're like not allowed to use the announcers because of deals they've struck up with the various distribution networks.
Maybe, but
And they're like, no, you can't use, in your streaming, you can only just show the fly cam. Now, what I thought might actually be fun, because we have this no audio feed,
right,
is to one of these days, just call the game ourselves.
Yeah, we'll be the announcers.
We'll be the announcers. And then throw it up on YouTube.
There we go.
Hey, we make it ridiculous.
Absolutely.
I think we should.
I think, you know what? Let's write this down. We're going to do this.
I think we should do it. And then just call the game. See what happens.
See? Yeah. You know what? We should get a green screen going.
Yeah.
Have like little microphones.
Yeah.
Like, I'm Joe Van Assen.
Yeah.
I'm going to call this game for you.
We'll get ridiculous.
Yeah, we will.
That's what we do here at the shipyard.
There's only one way to go, and that's us going ridiculous. Well, speaking of negative, Nancy.
Oh, are we getting more negative?
Yeah. Well, not necessarily negative,
Want
but
to, Smithy. I want to be positive.
It's the other ugly elephant in the room.
All right. What is it? Lay it on me.
So it's been brought up by a few people and questioning Philip Nelson's character, which I think is a valid concern, given a past incident that he had in college, which was a very ugly incident.
I've heard of this.
Try to give the TLDR on this is basically you have a bunch of young jocks drinking at a bar,
Getting that booze.
and getting lippy with each other. And so one individual, I'm going to apologize ahead of time. The only person's name I remember is Philip Nelson.
Yeah.
So an individual threw a punch, missed. Philip Nelson's friend punched that person back, knocked him on the ground, and Philip Nelson kicked the guy in the head, causing permanent brain damage. Now, granted, the alcohol, youth, just stupidity, that doesn't excuse it. Don't get me wrong. Now, Nelson did plead guilty, and it could have been one of those things where he pled guilty.
Now, didn't that
Go ahead.
cut his college career short?
No, actually, he got kicked. Well, in a way it did, because he got kicked out of that college, lost his scholarship, and then he went to, I think, Eastern Carolina after that. But I think it may have been like a year after that before he was able to play football.
I got you.
And this is all from memory, so I may not have everything exactly correct. But he definitely did not finish his college career at the same college that he started with.
Gotcha.
Now, again, he pled guilty. He didn't do, innocent and go to trial. So he took responsibility. Now, granted, a lot of times in these situations, the prosecution will come like, hey, if you plead guilty, we'll give you a lesser charge, blah, 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 blah. And that's probably what happened. I didn't see those details, so I don't know for 100%. To me, the key is he still that same person now as he was back then? And it could have just been a dumb spur of the moment thing, completely out of character for him.
Yeah.
And again, it doesn't excuse it. It's happened. You can't take it back. You can't change time. But since then, if he's like, yes, I've acknowledged that what I did was extremely wrong, and hasn't repeated that,
I have not heard of him kicking anybody else in the head.
I have not. His last name isn't So
And Dominican,
who seems to have
he does that
a
in a
pattern
public,
of that.
He has a passion for it.
Yes, it would seem.
He does it over and over and over again.
Yeah. But again, as far like you mentioned, as far as I know, there has not been any further incidents. Yeah, and basically to wrap it up, I can't tell anybody how they should feel about Philip Nelson. It's not my job to forgive him, but again, like I said at the beginning, TLDR, as long as he's not that same person now as he was back then, let's move on. Let's, don't forget it. Definitely. No excuse for what he did. Definitely. Yeah. But hey, man, people do change. And if you still want to dislike him, that's cool. That's totally cool. And if you do want to like him, that's even cool too. So
up to you, man.
Yeah, it's totally up to you. I'm not going to tell you who you should and should not like.
Yeah. People get into fights. There have been thousands of people getting into fights with thousands of people. They're called wars.
Amazingly. Yeah.
It's just,
ugly things happen from time to time.
Unfortunately.
And
you can't, you can't hold it against someone forever.
No.
Unless you are freaking Darren Rovell.
Oh, yeah. Never forget the inaccuracies of Darren Rovell.
Oh, I hate that guy so much.
I mean, you would think just the law of averages, he would actually get something right.
You would think so, but I've never seen it.
No.
All he's done is screw up my AAF experience.
In the entire history of the AAF, he has not had one single thing correct.
I hope you hear this.
Other than maybe spelling AAF correctly.
Yeah, maybe. That's a long shot.
Yeah.
Ugh, that guy.
Man.
That guy. All right, Smithy. So we passed 1,000 followers on Twitter.
Oh, my goodness.
I know. I can't even freaking believe it. 1,000.
I can't even count that high.
On the old Twitsky Doodles.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's super cool.
YouTubes.
Oh, on the YouTubes?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't looked at that in a while, but I did check the views on YouTube. They've been going up.
Yeah.
I think we've got a few subscribers.
Nice.
Yeah, but so overall good things happening here. Huge influx of new listeners, so welcome.
Welcome, listeners.
I think we can confidently now refer to our listeners in the plural.
Whoa. Well, I think we should take out time now to name them all. Just kidding.
There's Carl,
Bobby,
Biff. That's it.
Okay.
But yeah, and then we have 900 and 1,000 and what are we at? 1,010 now.
So we have 1,007 bots.
We have 1,007 bots. Mm-hmm. Biff, Chuck, and
Bobby.
So welcome, guys. But yeah, that's exciting. So we're going to be doing another giveaway this week.
Yes.
I liked the giveaway last week.
You like giving stuff away.
I do like giving stuff away. It's fun.
Do.
You know, it's just an excuse for me to do a little Photoshop project. I like
You
Photoshop.
do love the Photoshopping.
I do love photo the shopping. But and then also it's just kind of fun to give stuff away. It gets people excited.
It's true.
It spreads the word.
Speaking of spreading the word,
yeah,
I think you've got some news to spread.
Yes. So we have a new home, a brand new home for our away game watch parties.
Yeah.
It's Rookies. This is our new North County home, Rookies Sports Bar and Grill in Carlsbad or Oceanside. Sorry.
Is it
it's
named
right
after
on the
that
border.
70s cop show?
Nope.
Called Rookies?
No, I think they're referring to first-year professional players in various sports.
Well, I was way off.
You were way off, sir.
Good TV show, by the way.
I don't even remember it. Smithy's always coming with these references that were well before my birth. Somehow he remembers them like yesterday.
Yes, well, it happens when you're an only child.
Oh, raised by the TV situation.
Yep. Here's your key to the house. Watch some TV till I get home.
It's tragic.
It's the 70s.
Hurts
It's
my
cool.
heart a little bit,
It's
man.
cool back then, man. We had shag carpet and you couldn't even get hurt.
Well, that's comfy.
It
you
is.
just fall
You
right
just
on
fall
down.
asleep like a baby. The drool just goes in and you'll never see it.
So Rookies is a bar, and that's where we're going to be having our fleet away watch parties. And here's the cool thing about it.
Let's hear it.
They are going to hook it up with drink specials. I don't have the details on the drink specials just yet, but they're going to be good, like legit, like half off style.
I hope they have a drink named after us.
Ooh, I'll talk to them about
Yeah.
that. I'll talk to them about it.
Smooth and velvety.
But that's exciting. Always good to have kind of a return go-to place. And
It
also
is.
someone, I spoke with the owner there. She's super excited about the fleet. She was at the game. She's going to be at the game
Nice.
on Sunday. They're all about the fleet, and they just want to have a home in North County. So let's show up and turn out every time that we can.
Let's show them what we got
Show them what we got.
at Rookies
The Rookies,
in
Oceanside.
Oceanside.
Previously said Carlsbad. It's on the border.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What else, Smith?
Yeah.
All right. End of
Yeah.
show. Oh, wait a minute, Smith.
What?
I believe we've got ourselves a rematch.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. We got the Commanders coming up this week, Smithy.
Oh. We get them out of their home territory with their fake crowds.
With their supposed giant attendance numbers.
Yeah.
We'll see about that. I think we'll turn out this week.
We will. Turn out,
Now-
turn it up.
So I did talk to Jeff Gardner briefly this week. He is going to come through on the bet. We lost week 1, so he's going to be rocking that Commanders jersey.
Oh, boy. So get there early. Maybe get some pictures of it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I want I gotta see it. It'll make me real sad. Make me a real sad man.
It'll definitely put a couple frowns on my face.
Yeah, I'll be like, what is that gross shirt?
Ooh, is that even a real red?
Get it out of here. I hate it.
Ugh.
Stupid.
Ugh.
Tear out my eyeballs.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
That's a little extreme.
That's a little extreme.
Yeah. It's just the command dorks. I wouldn't poke my eyes out for them.
Just the command dorks. Now,
It's a bad look.
we haven't talked about our they like the term frenemies
Frenemies?
out there in San Antonio.
Oh.
The Command Post podcast.
San Antone.
San Antone. We haven't talked about them in quite some time.
We haven't.
And that's okay. I'm okay with that.
I haven't lost sleep.
Yeah, so we're not gonna. Yeah, that's it.
All right.
They exist.
Game Sunday. Gonna lose.
They're going to lose.
Because you're not going to have
Badly.
that crowd behind you.
So we'll see how it turns out. I don't know. Smith, do you want to lay down some sort of challenge, some sort of wager? I haven't thought about it. Do you want to come up with this right up on the spot? If we lose,
What are you thinking?
which we're not going to lose, I say that the losing podcast records a glowing intro
Oh,
for the other podcast.
okay.
A sarcastic.
Oh,
Maybe it can be okay.
okay.
So it can maybe be sarcastic, but basically we have to proclaim that the other podcast is the best podcast in the podcastosphere of the AAF.
Okay.
Clearly we know that that's us.
Oh, well,
This episode is evidence that it is us.
It's just an exercise.
It's just a good friendly wager. We'll see if they accept.
Right.
I don't know that I'm going to blast them out with this. I want to see if they actually listen
Oh.
and hear it. If they hear this throwdown,
Is there a deadline for them to accept this
they must
challenge?
accept this challenge by Friday
Okay. At what time?
at midnight.
Is that, since they're in San Antonio, is
No,
that
it's
Central Time or
California.
Pacific? Okay.
California
the real time, you
the
mean.
real, yeah,
real
sure.
time. Okay.
Yeah. Now, they did make fun of, or was it? Was it? Oh, you know what? It was the other podcast.
What?
I don't think it was Command Post.
Who?
No, it was. Shoot,
want
I always
names,
get them-
sir.
I always there's the War Room and there's the Command Post.
Oh.
And one of them made fun of our water guys. The fleet got a water sponsor, and they have a nice little label. And they, like, who attacks a water company?
Exactly.
They're like, oh, you idiot. You sponsored a
world?
football team with your stupid water, you idiot. I'm like, what the?
The heck? It's not like a company that's of rocks. Like here's a bag of rocks we're sponsoring the team
Yeah,
with.
I did. I have to say that the company did reply very well.
Oh,
And
that's good.
basically it was the Command Post. It was the Command
It was
Post. I remember
okay.
now.
Okay.
So they replied very humorously on the Twitter thread. It's worth finding. It's Amethyst Beverage.
Nice.
The name of the water company, but it's worth finding and taking a look. But it was a pretty funny exchange. But I just thought it was. I was like, come on, man.
Yeah, it's water. What are you doing? What, you don't have water in San Antonio?
Well, he was comparing it to their beer. And sure, having your own beer is cool.
I get it.
But listen, San Diego has thousands of beers.
Yeah, this is like brewery central.
Yeah. And sometimes you need a high quality H2O to offset that beer intake.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you got to balance it out.
You got to balance it
You know,
out.
got to get the old the H2 whatevers and all the other chemicals.
High quality H2O.
Whoa, that sounds like I was there at the movies.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler for me?
We have a good time with each other.
We do.
We have a good time talking into microphones once a week about our fleet.
The sweet, sweet victory sweet.
Sweet, sweet victory. Silky smooth like a buttery biscuit.
Oh, flaky and warm.
And you know if we're getting smooth, that only means one thing.
It is.
It's about time to play that outro music. There it goes. Real smooth, Smithy.
It is. Smoother than smoothest of smooths.
But sometimes smooth isn't the best thing
It is not.
when you're talking about your face.
No, you don't want a smooth, spacey face.
No, sir. You want a you want a gruffy, scruffy face.
You want a grizzly, gruffy face.
How do you achieve such a thing, Smithy? I'm asking you a direct question. Answer it,
I will answer it. You may not like the answers.
because you can never remember.
No, but I'm lying.
Try.
You can't handle the truth. No,
You
it's
go to the beer-
beerclub.com.
There you go.
I was just taking you. Stringing you.
Our beloved beardclub.com. That's where you head on over to dunk your face in some high quality
Beardy products.
beard quality products.
Get all the scruffy looking looks that all the ladies like Philip Nelson's abs.
Grow a great beard. It's like having Philip Nelson's abs on your face.
You could not have said it better, sir.
And that brings us to the end of our show.
It does.
Spiffy, it's been a pleasure as always.
Oh, it's my pleasure as usual.
Thank you, listener, for tuning in. Find us on the Twitter
And the YouTubes.
and the Instagrams
Oh, that too?
or the Facebooks.
Oh, we're everywhere.
Man, we love that Facebook group of ours.
We do.
Spiffy,
Yeah.
our milkshakes. They're pretty shaky. They're pretty milky. They're way better than the Commanders. I don't even think the Commanders know how to shake their milk in a method that is pleasing.
You damn right they are.
Testing out the microphones and our intro music. Here we go. That was smooth.
Oh, yeah.
That was smooth.
Real smooth.
So smooth.
Walking down the street smooth.
Sliding down the street.
Just like a smooth slide.
Smooth baby biscuit bottom biscuits.
Oh, buttery baby bottom biscuits.
Buttery baby bottom biscuits, baby.
All flaky in your mouth.
And I just got a text or something. I got a twit. Oh, I'm gonna have to turn Twitter off on the
shit.
iPad. I got a notification.
That gets in the way.